allow other people to determine how you're going to feel about you. And it's kind of like looking into a broken mirror. You're going to look in a broken mirror and change your face to try to look good in this defiled, busted, broken mirror. And it just other people's opinions is a really way to determine how we feel about ourselves.
Indeed.
It don't matter whose fault it is that something is broken if it's your responsibility to fix it. For example, it's not somebody's fault if their father was an abusive alcoholic, but it's for damn sure their responsibility to figure out how they're going to deal with those traumas and try to make a life out of them. It's not your fault if your partner cheated and ruined your marriage, but it is for damn sure your responsibility to figure out how to take that pain.
Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day. Starting it off with a little bit of Will Smith to really get in the mindset and the mode to transfer all of this energy that we could be seeing as resistance and allow us to see it today in a whole different perspective. So I'm excited, family. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go ahead and dive into today's topic. Today, we're going to be talking about just that, how to overcome mental resistance. So before we go ahead and dive in, let's get a little bit of gratitude down below, because this is going to be a topic that I'm telling you is going to be a big one. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let me get live on IG so they can catch some of this sauce as well. There we go. Awesome. So today, family, we're going to be talking about how to overcome resistance, getting into a little bit of gratitude. I'm so grateful for God. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for the mind, for the body, for the spirit. I'm grateful for the family. I'm grateful for the dream team. I'm so thankful for March Madness, what is to come these next couple of months. I know there's so much abundance. There's so many seeds that have been planted over the past couple of weeks, past couple of months that are now ready to go ahead and harvest, coming into the season, leading into the summer. So I'm excited. Lady Boss Nikki in the building. Fran, it's so great to see you guys. I'm grateful for life, right? Because every day is a day that we haven't seen before and a day that we'll never see again. So we get the opportunity to go ahead and suck seeds. So let's go ahead and make it happen. All right, here we go. IG's good to go. So my topic today, honestly, this came from just being able to listen, just being present, looking at social media, hearing a lot of conversations. And I've started to notice in this time right now, so many, right, are going through, I believe it's a mental warfare, right? It feels like there's so much resistance going on in so many different areas, right? If you guys can relate, if you feel like there's been a little bit of resistance inside of your life, it could be in any pillar. It could be for our body, our mind, our spirit. 1111 paint your vision, right? Society, finances. There could be resistance in one area of our life, right? So go ahead and drop some threes down below. And if you guys want to take it a step further, what area do you believe that there could be resistance in right now? Okay. And really just sit and think about it. Is it my body? Is it my finances? Is it the value that I'm going out and giving to society? Is it making that phone call to somebody that I know I need to make it to, right? Is it making that video? Right? What is the resistance that we have, that we feel every day when we wake up? Because when we can start to identify exactly what that is, we're able to go ahead and run at it. You see, for myself, I started to just put these pieces together. As I was just thinking about it earlier this morning and last night, how many things that I've had resistance against pretty much during my whole career of entrepreneurship, right? Getting in, I had resistance against speaking, against trading, against making videos, against even getting onto social media, making new relationships, putting myself out there. To be honest, every bit of it was at some way, shape, or form a piece of resistance. But the way I heard it this morning, it allowed me to see it in a whole different perspective. And I started to make it make sense, right? Make it make sense down below. I'm going to allow it to make sense, okay? What happens when we change the word from resistance to actually being pulled? You see, there's very true. Yes, we do have resistance inside of our lives. We have resistance with people that don't believe in us. We have resistance with maybe our job firing us, with maybe, losing a significant other, somebody that we love. We have resistance in all these different areas, but I want you to allow yourself to think about it in a different way when it comes to the tone that we're putting it in. You see, for many of us, resistance is in a negative connotation. But let me ask you this question, okay? How many of you guys have ever seen the picture when a couple breaks up? A lot of times, what happens to the individuals? They start eating better. They start getting their body right. They start going out and getting a six-pack because they start taking care of themselves. They start actually loving themselves. So at the time, it might have seemed like a lot. It made it seem like a lot of weight, but getting out of it, you felt so free, right? You felt like now you could finally be yourself. Now you could go ahead and really be you. So the same thing happens with the weight room. And this is one of my favorite analogies that I can go ahead and use because it's something that a lot of us, we've been working on very intentionally, right? We've been working on our body. So I want to give you all this example to allow you to see how resistance can actually be used to something that's not used to push us down, but in fact, it's the exact opposite. You see, resistance can actually be that thing that can pull us forward. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the switch today. You ready? Here's the switch. When you're in the weight room, okay, if you guys are going to go out, get out off this call, and maybe you did it before, maybe you're going to go ahead and do it after, I want you to pay attention to what happens, okay? If you get down and you go do some push-ups right now, if we go to the weight room, you guys can even try right now. If I told you to do 10 push-ups, right? You're going to notice that once you get to maybe 5, once you get to maybe 10, everybody has a threshold. Okay, it's called a threshold. Our threshold is different, and we have thresholds for every pillar of our lives as well. But for right now, I'm giving the example for the body so you can make it make sense for the other pillars, okay? Right or wrong, if we go to the gym and we go to work out, the only way for our body to truly grow, I'm not talking about losing weight, I'm talking about being able to grow and build. If you want to build muscle, right? You ladies, you want to build your glutes, you want to get the booty popping on hump day on Wednesday. For my guys that want to put on weight, you know what I'm talking about, right? The only way to do that is to be able to press past your threshold. That means we have to have some heavy weight in our lives in order to be able to grow. And this was such a perfect time for me because I started to realize everybody is going through something in some way, shape, or form. But what happens when we change the way we see things? Because that weight is what allows us to grow. That weight is what allows us to break down so we can go ahead and rebuild. That's the only way the body grows. So I want you guys to think about when it comes to public speaking, when it comes to building a brand, when it comes to building your store, trading, okay? It's supposed to be heavy. It's supposed to feel like it's a little bit heavy. It's supposed to feel like it's different. It's supposed to feel like it's something that you haven't felt before because that's where the growth is. You see, if we went in the gym for 90 days straight and we did 5 push-ups and there's no growth, there's no stress, there's no real tension, guess what happens? There's no real growth. The only way the transformation happens is with all of those things. You see, it takes a little bit of weight. It takes a little bit of stress. It takes a little bit of tension to be able to allow ourselves to get to the other side so we can actually then be able to grow. That's the only way these things are able to go ahead and transform. The same way it goes with our bodies. So you know what I decided? Let me go out and let me start pushing things I'm normally afraid to do. I started going out and I started making videos. You guys can go and look at my Instagram. At the bottom, I literally used to screenshot pictures of a lion quote. And that would be my message for today because I knew I had to start putting out some type of positivity. And that was all I could do because I was afraid to put my face out there. I was afraid to use my voice. Why? A couple different reasons. I was afraid of other people's opinions. I was afraid what other people were going to say about me. I was afraid of really being me. But you know what I started to realize? All of this resistance that I thought I had, guess what? It was really fake resistance. It really didn't exist. A lot of it was fear. If you look at the word fear, what does it stand for? False evidence appearing real. So how many things in our life can we truly identify as real fear or as the fear that's a fake fear? Public speaking, creating our accounts, going out and talking to new people, right? Doing things that a lot of times we're afraid of. Here's what I can promise you. Most of the times, greatness is right on the other side of what it is that we're fearful. Because there's no such thing as anybody who's fearless. There's no such thing. Nobody in this world walking that you see is fearless. They get on stage and they don't feel fear. They see things that scare them and they don't feel fear. They lose their house. They go bankrupt. They don't. That doesn't exist. Everybody feels fear. The only difference is there's no such thing as fear as fearless, but there's something as people who fear less. If you look at anybody that's iconic, you know what the difference is? If you look at Drake, the only reason why Drake is who he is, he started off in a wheelchair in a TV show. Now he became this huge mogul artist. How did that happen? Because he was willing to get a little bit outside of his comfort zone, take a little bit of extra steps that most people weren't willing to do. And guess what happens? Now you move from what is known as the ordinary into the extraordinary. Because if you break down that word, that's the only difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Just happens to be that little extra. You go into the gym for 90 days straight, right? Us doing our morning rituals, us getting up early, us creating new relationships, us making videos, putting out content, branding ourselves. All of these things, believe it or not, is breaking that fake resistance. It's going to break that threshold. That's going to allow us to see how abundant the world really is. You see, for a lot of us, here's how we've been living life. We've been thinking that we're doing a lot, but here's the truth, right? We might be facing this way. So it seems like we're doing the work, and nothing's happening. You know why? It's because a lot of us, we have some of this fake resistance. I'm not going to be able to learn these skill sets. What happens if I put that content out there and nobody believes in me? Well, I want you to just take a second for today and envision yourself. You know, if we were standing against the wall, we were standing against two corners and it's just a plain white wall and this is all we can see, right? It's nothing special. What happens when we're able to literally just turn around 180 degrees and just shift our perspective to see how beautiful, how abundant life can really be? How many blessings are actually waiting for us to go ahead and just step into and simply just get aligned with? And all it took was, guess what? Changing the perspective. It had nothing to do with the work, but it had everything to do with simply just changing the way that we look at it. So that's my training for everybody today, to really go ahead and think about what it is that we've been considering a resistance, and allow us to view it in a different way, to understand that, guess what? That resistance, that fear, is probably what's going to allow us to go ahead and reach higher highs. Because here's what I know. What got us here is definitely not going to get us there. So even for myself, I'm still getting uncomfortable. I'm still getting out of my quote unquote comfort zone, putting out content, creating relationships, right? Doing things I'm normally not used to doing, paying a lot of money for extreme mentorship, right, family? I'm investing thousands of dollars back into the wisdom, back into more knowledge and more value, so I can go out and pour back into the family, back into you guys. So even for myself, doing things that we've never done to go ahead and get things that we've never got. This is the name of the game. This is part of understanding how we can just change a little way that we're looking at resistance, and allow it to see that resistance isn't really resistance at all. It's actually what's allowing us to get pulled into higher highs and new levels. So family, with that being said, that's my training for everybody today. If you got any value, drop some threes down below. If that allowed you to go ahead and shift the way that you were thinking about what might be a little bit heavy in life, smash that like button. If nobody told you that today, I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. And I know this is going to be a monumental month that we're going to be able to go back and look at and say March Madness was one of the months that set up what happened all of 2023, for all the greatness that we're experiencing. Family, I love you. It is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, or have anything that you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. I love you, family. Have a great day. Happy hump day. Let's go out and dominate the rest of the week. It's game time. Dream team. Let's go.